Well, let's talk about video 7. How do we find all these great deals? Now, remember that the complexity of a small business stops 96% of all business owners. They hit a ceiling somewhere a little bit over 5 employees. So somewhere between 500,000 and 1.5 million, the business gets too complex and they quit. Sometimes they start losing money, sometimes they get bored and tired, sometimes they're just ready to get out. Now this happens because they make 5 mistakes that they don't believe they're making. They don't know they're doing it wrong. So even if we don't buy one of these failing businesses, lots of other opportunities come up when we're out there talking to these companies. So what we want to talk about today is how do we get the deals to call us? Now, before we go into this, I want to tell you what our goals are, because we can't predict how much money you'll make. So I'm simply going to show you what we're doing here, my wife and I. Our goal is over the next 5 to 7 years, we want to put together 10 to 12 businesses that are paying us between $2,000 and $20,000 a month, with the idea that they'll be long-term revenue generating businesses that we'll be able to depend on into our retirement. And we're also looking to put one really good roll-up deal together where we can sell for a great multiple and get out with at least $5 million. Now we're hoping both of those things happen before we retire. Here's the actual real results that are going on today. We've got several firms paying us money, 4 of them that actually pay dividend checks, one at $2,000, $5,000, $6,000, and $15,000. So I have a little marketing consulting business for accountants run with a partner, and that business generates $2,000 a month in dividends to me. I've got a little paperless software company run with a partner that generates $15,000. That's my best deal right now. I have a brand new seminar production company that is generating $5,000 a month, and I don't have a partner helping me with this one yet. Then we have the home healthcare business, and this is with a partner. This is one of the big rollouts that we're shooting for. This is one that we hope we can buy other home healthcare companies because a lot of nurses go into this business. They get up to 5, 10, 15, 20 employees, and then they just go out of their mind. This company's not paying a dividend yet, but I think by May of this year it will. Now I have a loser. I own a little company, a partial of a little company called Elite Lawyer Service. It's not making any profit. I do own a bookkeeping business in conjunction with my wife. She sold off most of her clients last year so we could do this full time, but she's still generating about $6,000 a month. And I have a tree plantation with my son, but that generates no money. And it won't for 15 years, but this will be a big payout also. When we sell the tree plantation in 15 years, it'll be for millions, but that's my backup. My home healthcare is my first big rollout idea. If that one fails, I've got a backup on the big rollout. And I have a terrible failure. I started a company in 2008 called QB Express. I put about $200,000 in it. It grows $65,000 a year, but after 4 years, I just finally gave up. It broke even. I sold the company for $10,000, so I made nothing on the deal. So I've had a couple of failures. I've got a couple of successes, and we've got a couple of brand new deals that we're working on. Now, the reason this is important to know is that I've spread my risks, and I always bring in a partner. We're going to talk about that in future videos. How do we bring in partners and share the risk and the rewards? The important thing is we need deal flow. We've got to be looking at deals all the time. And over the next 5 years, I anticipate that I will look at about 1,000 deals, or about 200 a year. And you know, most of these deals I can get in and out of, look at them in 15 or 20 minutes. But one of the things that will be real important here is that you have some kind of software on hand to manage all the contacts that you're going to generate. To see 1,000 deals, you're probably going to generate a database of around 3,000 to 5,000 people in your marketplace that you want to make sure they know who you are. These are business people, mostly lawyers, business coaches, accountants, and you can't keep track of all this unless you're using software. I use online software in the cloud, a multi-user program, and the reason for that is that I want to be able to hire work out of my office at rock bottom prices to be able to do some of the basic data entry, sending out emails, chasing leads, that sort of thing. So Zoho is one of the cheapest that you can get. You can get a 3-user at no cost. We actually don't use Zoho. I use Infusionsoft here, but it's very expensive and very complicated. And my wife uses Salesforce, and once again, it's very expensive and complicated to use. Zoho is complicated, but it's cheap. And so I use this because I want to keep track of every accountant in town. And I've got that list. So if you decide to become a charter member in our find, fix, and flip business, I'll send you the list of all the accountants in town. And because these are the people that know who's in trouble first. They're the ones that look at a client who's been struggling at $45,000 a year in profit, or they're looking at somebody that can't make their tax bill this year. They're the people that you want to be in front of first. And then I want to know every business broker, because business brokers look at a lot of businesses, but what they do is they trip up a lot of dogs. These are dogs that they can't list. People call and say, I'm ready to fall apart. Can you sell my company tomorrow for millions? And what happens is, out of every 5 deals they look at, only 2 are actually, they can be listed because there's a realistic chance they may. So, well, the other 3 are an opportunity for you. The next group of people I want to talk to in town is a business coach. Now, this is something brand new. Mostly the business coaches work on your internal motivation to be in business, and are you driven to be successful. Some have some knowledge or experience in financial statements, etc. But the business coach is going to see problems that you might be able to help with, and they're out there working all the time. The next group you want to have in your database are business lawyers and bankers. Now, because of confidentiality, they can't call you up and say, go see my client. But if you're in touch with these people on a regular basis, they can ask the client, would you like to talk to this guy I know who can fix and flip this business for us? The other unusual avenues to generate leads are the SEO web guys. And this is another group that I always want to put into my database, because they're aware of everything going on in town. And they've already discovered the people that will talk to salespeople. See, they're on the phone calling, do you want help, do you want help, do you want help? And they get a hold of the most aggressive, active business owners that are trying to do something to get their business going. And a lot of times that business throwing stuff on the wall, so they call the SEO guy. But if you know this SEO guy in town, and there's dozens and dozens and dozens of them, they're going to be able to point you to many opportunities of business owners that are in trouble. Then, of course, we always check Google for businesses for sale. And I look at this listing every week, and I'll tell you what's really interesting is I'm looking for the business that doesn't sell. So if somebody puts a business up for sale and 6 months later it's still there, then that's somebody that I want to talk to, because there's something wrong with the company and I might be able to fix it and flip it. Now, to make all this happen, I will tell you what I do in my own situation. I have a full-time person in the Philippines doing this. They charge me $8.95 a month. That's through a service bureau. So they provide the office and the computer, and my little girl comes in every day and she does all this work for me. I don't do it. She even sends out little ads on Craigslist. And this is something we tested in January. It worked very well. We posted one ad in Craigslist, said, we're moving to town, we're interested in buying a business or partnering or solving your problems. And we got hundreds of inquiries. Now, almost all of them were junk. Most of them I could delete without even responding, but I did get 2 really good inquiries. One from a security company doing $1.5 million in sales. The guy was real tired about running a business, looking for somebody to step in and help him. The other one was a construction company that was doing over $1 million. Now, I'm actually interested in the security company. That's where they do the rent-a-cops, and I'm hoping to continue our conversation to see if there's something I can do there. The construction business is not a business that I have skill set in or experience or knowledge of. And you'll remember from our previous videos that my wife and I like subscription companies where we can build a client every week, every week, every week. We like that type of business, so that's what we shoot for. Now, the other thing that my little girl in the Philippines will do is she'll look in the classifieds online locally and look for deals and just send notes out to people. Get their email and send out notes. Now, you'll remember I told you in our last video that I'm always in need of a partner or a great employee or a joint venture people or finance people. So I constantly run a marketing plan to find these people. She manages that for me. And all it is we're just sending out emails, touching people. Do you want help? Would you like to talk to us? Are you interested? Of course, on the employees, I'm the one that's constantly on the outlook, as you'll remember from the See's Candy Store, which I'm going back over there, as a matter of fact, today. But I do this so that we're keeping those funnels full of potential partners, and then I'm running a funnel, a 5-year deal flow funnel, so that I can buy the 10 companies that'll make $2,000 to $20,000 a month. Some companies are going to start up and fail. Some are going to do twice what we expect, but I've constantly got the deal flow going. And what I really want to do is find those names and send them a series of letters or emails, or contract a telemarketer to call them and say, do you have an interest? And what's really interesting is that most of these deals actually call me. Most of the leads that we generate, people are interested in getting rid of their business or getting rid of their problem, and they're on the phone to us, so we don't have to beat the phone. We don't have to make cold calls. Now, not every business is going to be right for you, and some can't be saved, and some won't want your offer to be saved. But you want to make sure you look at them, because let's take, for example, a plumber comes to you and says, you know, I need some help. I can't save the business. And you look at it and you say, well, it's not savable. You're dead. But that doesn't mean this is a no revenue opportunity. A failing business probably hasn't filed tax returns for years, but even better is that you could get on the phone and call the other plumbers and say, I think I might be able to move a block of business over to you. Now, you can't sell the business because that's a real estate deal and you have to be licensed. But what if you just called up the other plumber across town and said, I've got a guy with a customer list, 700 customers in the southwest part of town that he's been doing work for the last 5 years. He's thinking about closing. Can we work out a deal where you might want those 500 customers in your database? And if the business owner on the other side of the phone is halfway smart, he's going to say, are you kidding? Let's make a deal, baby, because he can just spend a lot of money finding 500 clients. If he can pick up somebody else's, that's a bargain. And then some firms that you're going to talk to, they won't want to pay you. They won't want to sell to you or give you the business, but they might pay you to fix their business. But the important thing is that we're constantly going to be running into a lot of opportunities because we're out there in the marketplace on having people call us, and that's going to generate an incredible set of opportunities. So Casey Truby, the Lonesome Cowboy, let's keep that cash register ringing.